Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expert Suck Sports Betting Podcast. I am Mike Day, and it is Thursday afternoon, so that means I must be joined by Brad Thurman.
You
What's
are.
up, Brad?
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. Um, just tiny apology in advance. Brandon and I got into some quite a rant in football on Tuesday night. I think you saw a
I
clip of
did.
it.
I did.
Um, so I'm gonna right as we jump in, I'm gonna maybe ask you what your take on the college football playoff is as a non Notre Dame, biased person.
Yeah. Um, I don't like Florida football teams. Miami, Florida, Florida State. But I how do you go against, like if it's between Notre Dame and Miami, how do you go against putting Miami in? They beat them.
Yeah, and as a Notre Dame fan, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Um, that head to head should matter. Even if they played them in the first week, because the little crybaby down there is talking about, oh, well, we played Ohio State the first week. Well, yeah, you were ranked number one
Right.
the first week, so don't lose that game. So again, Notre Dame, don't lose to Miami,
Yeah.
right?
And it's early part of the season, so things change. Like, do I believe Notre Dame is? And I don't even know if that's your question where you're going. If it's, you know, should Notre Dame be in or not? But um, I, do I think Notre Dame is one of the top 12 teams in all of college football? Absolutely. But with all the rules and with all the conferences that have to have a certain team in there or whatever, like I don't know if they deserve it. If it's again over Miami. If Miami's out and they're in, I would call BS on that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think a lot of people are also up in arms about is this whole automatic bid from the
Right.
Big Four or Big Five, whatever conferences.
Yeah.
Um, because there's a world, and I said this Tuesday, but there's a scenario where Duke can get in
Yeah.
at 7-5 by winning the ACC championship. So a lot of people that know things on social media are, number one, they like to go to like a 24 team playoff, which would solve the majority of these problems. But number two, don't have automatic bids,
Yeah.
or only have four. Okay, say ACC, SEC, because they do it in college basketball too. But ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10. Those are the four champions only get in, and then the rest of it, do it by the rank. Don't do it by, you know, don't like the old way where it was like either the AP or whatever, even though the AP
Yeah.
is terrible. Because I don't know if you've seen the clip of the female reporter. Um, you know, my process is, and like, okay, you're an AP voter. I don't even know if you've watched a football game. So,
Well, I
um,
will disagree
yeah,
with what you said about all the problems will go away if you do the top 24. Let's face it, I don't care if you put in the top 50. There's still going to be controversy because humans love bitching about stuff. So even if you put in the top 24, the 25th, 26th, 28th team are going to be like, well, we got screwed because of this. So
yeah,
it's never going to go away. Like let's go a few years ago when it was just the top four, and then before that it was just this. Like let's put these two teams together and determine the national championship. So it's gotten better, obviously, but there's always going to be room for teams and coaches and people to be bitching that their team got screwed. So that's never going to go away. Um, but it's still a flawed, you know,
yeah.
system that we have.
And I don't think it'll be perfect because sometimes even in college basketball where they have 64 teams, the 65th team cries, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we should be in over some auto bid, which,
Right.
yeah, I mean, you should be, but the
And
system is set up the way it is.
well, and then just like it is in the March Madness, then you can start complaining about the seating. Well, why
Yeah.
did we get seated here instead of there? And like it's we just live in a world where it's everything is black and white, and you're on one side or you're on the other, and the other side are idiots and your side is right.
Right, exactly. And, and also the entitlement,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Texas is sitting there talking about how they're entitled and and it's a disservice if they don't get in. Well, not really.
No,
You
no,
lost 3 times, including to
no.
3 to well, they're 4-8 now, but Florida, don't lose that game, and you don't have to worry about you being entitled to be into the playoff. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I was just checking in with you and to see get your take
Yeah.
because, you're on this football podcast thing where you and I go directly against the experts in our picks,
Yeah.
and a lot of these experts are on social media, beating their drum on this whole college football playoff thing. So yeah,
So you're just
um,
trying to prove that even with their opinions, they suck too.
yeah, right, exactly. A lot of them do. Well, and some of them they're saying, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but they say foolish things just to,
Oh
get click. It's clickbait. So
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well,
if you really believe that, how do you still have the position you have
right.
when you say these, outlandish, dumb things? But there's been guys on ESPN that have made a career out of that. So,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
okay, well, welcome
What are we doing?
everybody.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Sorry, I took 7 minutes away from us and what we do on this show. But if you're joining us the first time, we are the Expert Sex Sports Betting Podcast, and Brad and I started this a year ago. This is season 2. We do a consensus of the experts' picks in college and pro football. 65% or more of the experts have to be on a game, and 75 or more of those experts have to be picking within that game. And then Brad and I get to choose if we go opposite of that or not. So we have a whole slate of games every week. We pick 6 games, college or pro, which are the opposite of this consensus of the experts. And then on the show, what we do is we review last week's games and then get into this week's games. There we go. I did that in like 45 seconds.
Yeah, you did. Nice job.
Okay. So welcome in, everybody. Yeah, Brad. So we are now into week 14. So let's get into our review of the week 13 picks and how we did there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Spotify listeners. I'm getting to our cool slides.
Well, and yeah, for those who are on Spotify, you can also join us on YouTube. You can see us either live or a recorded version. So you can see the slides, you can see our faces, you can
Yeah.
see whatever you want to see. But sometimes we forget to let you know when we're referring to slides that you don't get to see them on Spotify.
Yeah. So go back and hit the replay and then hit subscribe and a thumbs up. You can still do that anytime you go to YouTube. Okay. So week 13 picks. Do we tell everybody how we did or just go through them?
We didn't say it yet, so let's just go through them.
Yeah, we'll see how how it ends up.
Well, we already did well.
Here's game 1, one of the 2 highest percentage experts games that we picked.
Yep.
And yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, so 71% of the experts were on Georgia Tech playing Georgia. It was a 14-point favorite for Georgia. This was a Friday game. Yeah, Georgia, again, like they won by 7. It wasn't pretty. It felt like there was a lot of opportunities for them, but with that 7-point lead, it's like even if they score, it doesn't matter. They're not going for 2. We're gonna
Right.
push. We're gonna push. We're gonna lose this anyway. I never felt going into the fourth quarter that we really were gonna have a chance to win this with the flow of that game.
Yeah, and there wasn't enough possessions left. I mean, both teams just kind of kept punting.
Yeah.
And Georgia was just punting and securing with an outstanding defense, securing the win. So, and this whole year, Georgia has been a pretty mid cover team. So we really didn't read into that much, but they should be 14 points better than Georgia Tech, but
Yes.
it just didn't work out that way.
Nope, it did not. But went into Saturday not all green, so that wasn't a great feeling.
Yeah. So this is the second tied highest percentage of experts. 71% of the experts were on SMU at Cal. Cal was getting 13.5 points, and the final score was 38-35 Cal. So Cal did not need any of those
No,
points.
they didn't. No,
Um,
no. Yeah, that was quite shocking that they they just took them out outright.
yeah. Well, and Cal had a 17-point lead twice in the game, but then forgot that they still had to play in the fourth quarter and gave up three touchdowns in the fourth quarter to SMU to lose the lead. They were down 31-35.
Yeah,
And yeah, and so they had to make a game-winning drive at, with 43 seconds left. They score a touchdown and take the lead back, and win the game. But it was a fun game. It was entertaining to watch for sure.
and it's always better when you have a 2 touchdown deficit and your team is up by 3 touchdowns in the second half. Like
Yeah.
it's like I think I texted you right after halftime thing. I think I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, and even as SMU was storming back, I'm like, okay, well, they
Yeah.
took the lead, but we're still up by,
The clock wasn't on their side, and they still needed like
two
a few
two scores.
touchdowns with
Yeah.
less than 5 minutes. I'm like, again, I think we're pretty safe here.
Yeah, we felt pretty comfortable with that one.
Yeah.
This one we already knew going into the weekend.
Yep, we reviewed this already, so we won't go into this. Navy we took. They were a 3.5-point underdog to Memphis. Memphis was a 68% experts pick, and Navy, again, won outright 28-17. So yay for us.
Yeah, so on our slides, we're now 2-1, and then with this one, 65% of the experts were on Purdue hosting the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hoosiers were a 28.5-point favorite, and the final score of this game was 56-3 Indiana. So I think our handicap of this game was Indiana's going to roll for style points.
Yes.
Right? And they did. Curt Cignetti's on a mission, which we can get into this a little foreshadowing, but he is definitely on a mission this year.
Yeah. Well, and that.
So he didn't want to mess around with Purdue.
No, but anytime we have over 4 touchdown that we have to make up, it always you're a little nervous, but yeah, I was quickly not nervous about this one. Even by halftime, it's like, no, they're not going to lose this one, or there's no way they're not going to cover. So they made this one an easy one for us.
Yeah. So yeah, good on the Hoosiers. Sets up a Big Ten championship game this weekend. So yeah, nice. So that was our third win.
All right, fourth.
Oh, love this one. Love this one.
You love the next two. Well, kind of love the next two.
Kind of, sort of.
So I'll take this one. 65% of the experts were on the Volunteers of Tennessee going against Vandy. Vandy was a 2.5-point underdog, even though they're higher ranked, but they were going to Tennessee. Final score. This was not indicative of the game. So this final score, Vandy looks like they rolled 45-24, and obviously they did, but this was a great game to watch until the fourth quarter. It was a great game until it wasn't. And you turn around and like, what just happened? And now they're up big. So, Mike, you've talked about your connection with Vandy. It's been fun watching them the last couple of years. So I jumped on the bandwagon. It's been fun betting for them. And yeah, so this was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, you and I, and if anybody doubts us, but go back to last year's episodes of the podcast. You and I were on Diego and Vandy even last year when he got there for his first season with the Commodores. Diego's a sensation. Diego Pavia. He is a top Heisman candidate. I don't know if he won't win. I think it's probably Mendoza or Sayin. I don't think Jeremiah Love has a chance either. So, but I think Diego means so much more to his team than any other player in the country. I don't know. I mean, plus he's entertaining. Like, come on. The guy's super entertaining.
And you hope that transcends into the NFL because you just want to root for the guy and just the passion and energy he has, and just people rally, as you said. He's just such a fun player to watch, and it was
Yeah.
fun to watch that game, even though
Yeah.
you know,
When he scored in the fourth
scored.
quarter, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
Momentum changed. Momentum changed.
yeah.
So good on Diego. Okay. All right. 60.
Uh,
This game. Just a bittersweet game. 65% of the experts were on Stanford hosting the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame was a 32.5 point favorite, giving 32.5 to the Cardinal. Final score of the game was 49-20, and Notre Dame wins easily, but the way that, and this is, super fans, here you go, this backdoor cover touchdown they gave up to Stanford with 5 minutes left.
well,
Man,
and
I mean,
were you
come on.
sleeping? Were you awake or were you sleeping?
No,
I can't remember.
I hate to admit it, um,
You can.
as a Notre Dame fan. Once it got to like, I don't know, whatever it was at halftime and then early into the third quarter, I'm like, okay, this game's over. I know Notre Dame's going to win. I don't know if we're going to cover, but I'm going to bed.
Well, I unfortunately, because this would have made us 5-1, and yeah, we weren't 6-0, but we're trying to get that percentage up as high as we can, and trying to get into the top 8, you know, in our pool that we're in.
Right.
So I stayed up until 12:15 and was so like it took me a while to calm down to go to sleep because I was so pissed. Like, and it's really weird to say that Notre Dame got up too big too early because
Yes.
they came out second half, scored immediately, and then you're like, oh no, they're going to take their foot off the gas,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what they did. And you know they did some 3-and-outs, or they just were not calling the same plays. And you know I understand not wanting to just score 100 points, but they had an opportunity. And I think what was more maddening was at the end they put in, again, really cool story. So I was back and forth on this. This senior at Stanford had never played in a game. He comes in and drives down the field and throws a touchdown.
Rudy.
Yeah, and he scrambled. He scrambled at one point, and he looks like, I don't know, he looks like he's 6'7" or whatever, and he scrambles for a 30-yard run.
Oh
And
no.
you just watch the Stanford guys on the side. You know, they've been watching this kid for 4 years. They were so pumped up for him. You know, it's just, again, one of those Rudy stories where you're like, I'm so pissed right now, but that is actually really kind of cool. You know, he throws his first touchdown pass, which again was,
Yeah.
it's, one of
And
those that makes you,
his first and probably last touchdown pass ever.
absolutely. And then you just see the fire. And I'm sorry, what's coach's name on
Marcus Freeman.
Freeman? Like, you just saw the fire in his. He's like, oh, if you're going to score, I don't know if he had money on the game or what, but he had zero reason at this point because he had taken his foot off the gas. Zero
Yeah.
reason to drive down the field, but he's like, screw that. And like first play he's thrown, I'm like, oh, Mike, we have a chance. He wants to score. And they were driving down the field. It was like 20 seconds to go. They're first and goal or whatever at the 5. And he's throwing. They're in shotgun. Like they are going to score. And the center snaps the ball over the QB's head. The ball's bouncing around. Notre Dame finally gets it at the 15. And now we've got 10 seconds left. And the coach, slowly took the headset off and just like, okay, be a total dick move if I tried to score, after that. But we were so close.
Yeah.
On a few different occasions. Like if that center didn't screw up that,
Yeah, they probably do score.
Scored, but they were driving and they were just moving the ball at will. Chances are they would have scored.
Oh man.
So it's like, oh
yeah.
And then it's after midnight. I'm like, I stayed up to watch this loss.
To have that aggravation, right?
So,
the aggravation, and every degenerate and every sports bettor is feeling that right now. Like, oh man, yeah.
And me rooting for Notre Dame, which you know is a difficult thing anyway. So
yeah, that had to be just like torture. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm annoyed now. I've been a Notre Dame fan for the last 3 hours. What the hell is going on with my life?
Yeah. So as you can see, that gives us a 4-2 record last week, and that can transition right into our super cool year-to-date stats
Wow.
slide.
Still,
And looky here.
this is still incredible. Like 50 and 28 betting against the experts, where it's 64%. Um, I can already tell you that number is probably going to start going down like it did last year because of what we're about to face, and we're going to go into it with the games that we had to choose from this week. But I can't be more proud of being, in the top, around the top 10 in this entire pool, which again, I'm not going into the numbers of how many people are in it, but it's significant. So to be in the top 10 is like, it's significant. So, but to be at 64%, I'm just proud beyond words that we are sitting at that number right now, 22 games above 500.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, we've covered this almost every podcast, but people need to. I think people don't necessarily appreciate that record with, the limits that we're up against, the limited pick slate, the limited. We're only picking 6. Yes, that's true, but you and I don't do any of the analytics or anything like that, and it's just all the cards are kind of stacked against us,
Yeah.
but we're still like hitting big hands, poker reference, but over and over again. And to be 50 and 28 13 weeks into the season is remarkable. And people should pay attention to that, right?
Like there's
So
something there.
there is something to this, because last year about this time we were roughly like 62% or so.
Yep.
So there is something to what we're doing, and we're kind of proving it out over the course of 2 seasons.
Yep.
Now, if we finish it out, let's see, but because everything's going to get significantly harder from here
Yeah.
because there's less college games to choose from. But
and we'll be able to assess this, in 4 more weeks. But if it's anything like it was last year, our percentage started to dip just because the number of games we have are much less. So we don't have a lot of games to choose from. And they're just tougher to pick. The lines are weird, and you don't know who's playing in bowl games, and you don't know who's sitting in the NFL games at the end of the year. It's just really tough. So one thing we can say is, we know that beginning of the season is really tough to pick, but the end of the season might be tougher because of those. So I would say
week 18, you and I will start our complaints right now on week 18, because even in the NFL, they sit players for rest for the playoffs.
Right. And so it's really hard to pick. So I would say up until week 30, bet against the experts of what we've seen, as you can feel confident betting against the experts, because we're showing a higher percentage win rate when you do bet against them. And we played it out the last 2 seasons. I would just maybe not bet that heavy against the experts weeks 14 through 18.
Yeah, exactly. So we have 4 statistics, super cool ones. And one of them is the season total of all the qualifying games. So Brad and my pick slate the entire season, if you were just blindly going on the expert suck side for every pick on our slate this week, it was, we have like 15 to choose from. But if you look at this and just did that, you would be 169, 148, and 2 against the experts, running at a 53% correct percentage. So again, even that, if you're just blindly taking the expert suck side, you're on the plus side of the money on this. So
you're making money.
All right.
And we look at the highest percentage game on the docket each week that we pick of the 6. This week we had 2 that were tied at 71%. We were 1-1, but our yearly total is 9-6. So against those high percentage games, we're doing well.
Yeah, nice to be above that in that number. Yep. And here we go. All right, so Brad and I, we have a bet. We have a wager on our own personal picks in the contest that we do. And now I am 37. We're not proud of this necessarily. I am 37-40-1, and Brad is 38-40. So Brad has a half a game lead on me going into week 14.
It's not half a game; it's a full game. We don't count those ties. It's all about how many wins. There's one full game ahead of you. Stop with this.
Yeah, but you know what? If we end up like we are right now and just run this out, you'll take that half a point, right?
Well, of course I will.
So yeah,
you had a great week the week before. You almost got the 6-0. I got you by a game, so I just have a slight lead, but at least one of us isn't just killing it. So at least we have some drama coming in here the last 4 weeks.
yeah. So
and I do have to shout out another person in my family. Another person in my family just won this week. Yeah, he's a first-time winner. My brother hadn't won in this before. He's been, I think, 3 or 4 5-1s this year, and it always seems to be the last game for him. And yeah, this one was a good week for him.
Yeah. So yeah, good on him for hitting that.
Yeah. We had another friend who almost won that Bronco game. If they would have covered, he would have been part of that 6-0 club. So unfortunately, he didn't make it, but it's so tough. But our team won, so I think he probably was it eased the pain a little bit.
Yeah. Is he a big Bronco fan?
Oh yeah.
I know this person.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You play poker at his house all the time.
Okay. Dang. Yeah. Yeah. It's so frustrating to be 5-1 and then just barely miss that last one. So
and when it's the last game of the week, and then we almost sacked the quarterback, which would have had the cover, and then he throws the interception, but we get the pass interference, and you're like, oh no, it was right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was right there. So that had
So
to have
close.
been, I mean, just so many emotions he had to have been feeling in that moment. Like, ugh. Anyway, congrats to my brother.
Yeah, good on him. That's awesome. And that just makes the whole rest of the season that much sweeter because you're kind of on a free roll.
Yep, you are.
So the week 14 games, and I talked about it. We have 6 college. We had 6 college to choose from and 9 pro games to choose from.
Yeah,
and we had to come up with 6 picks against the experts. And
the most important word you just said was had to. I'm the resident Eeyore, but we literally could not find 6 games to choose.
Yeah.
The criteria for the last game was well, and I think it's going to be this first one. Do you want to put that up?
Yeah. Was it this one that we finally choose? Yeah, this is
Yep.
the one we finally. Okay, so everybody knows this is the 6th game that we chose, and we didn't even know. Well, we know why, but it was like, okay, whatever.
Well, I did very little research, but we had gone back and forth on a few games, and we just couldn't land on anything. So, again, the 69% of the experts are on Western Michigan playing against Miami, and I don't know who's home or who's not. I don't know if these games are played
neutral.
Neutral.
Yeah.
So
this one's at Ford Field, I think, in Detroit.
Okay, so thank you for that. But Miami, Ohio is a 2.5-point underdog. Again, most of the experts are on Western Michigan, but Miami, my whole rationale for this was, it's a low point spread, so it's almost a coin toss. So it's like anything can happen here. I don't know much about either of these teams other than I look back. Miami of Ohio has already beaten Western Michigan, and they beat them, I think, by double digits. And then I looked at a few common opponents, and I forgot which one it was, but Western Michigan lost to them recently, and Miami beat them. So I'm like, okay, there's 2 for 2. And it's a low score or a low spread. So what the hell? Let's just pick it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, all that, and you and I went back and forth on it, and we're like, okay, sometimes it's hard to beat the same team twice, but at least we know that they have the ability to do that.
Yeah, they've done it. It wasn't like they lost 70-0 and they have no shot.
Yeah, and that happens. This happens to be our highest percentage play of the week. Okay, so the next one I think we ended up with what 3 college and 3 pro.
Yep.
First pro game that we were on, 68% of the experts were on the Cleveland Browns, hosting the Tennessee Titans, the what 1 and whatever Tennessee
Two and
Titans.
2 and 9 or something like that.
Yeah,
Two
they're
and two and 10.
the not very good Tennessee Titans. Tennessee is getting 4 points, and again, this was just one of those ones where 2 not very good teams. They each have their struggles. So we kind of just took the team that's getting points
Yeah,
mostly.
exactly why I did it. Because again, it's Cleveland, and sure, can Cleveland go out play at home, and their defense is really good. So Tennessee could potentially score 6 points, 2 field goals, and Cleveland could score, 13, and we don't cover. But like you said, two bad teams, and bad teams have a tendency to have bad things happen to them. So let's hope Tennessee can just keep it close. That's all we need.
Yeah, just play good one week.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, here we go. I'll let you do
Well,
this one. Yeah,
yeah.
this is yours.
I'll do
Although I
this.
agreed right away.
You did, thankfully, but I was going to fight hard for it because last week you vetoed me on this one. So 67% of the experts were on Denver. Our Broncos going to Vegas, 7.5 point underdog is Vegas. So we've got the Raiders. Again, sucks to root for the Raiders. Broncos
Yeah,
can still win, but I said the same thing last week, and it came to fruition. Denver has been winning, as we all know, winning ugly, sometimes winning cool, but like in these late rallies. But 2
yeah,
games that we have won have been double digit. All the other ones are 4 points or less against not great teams,
yeah, yeah.
and they're going to Vegas. So
Yeah. So, I mean, in Vegas playing at home, they have flashes. If Gino can just be good for a little bit,
yeah,
and and it's another one of these where okay, they're the underdog. If they can just kind of score and shorten the game, keep it to like you said, 3 or 4 points, and then the Broncos win at the end by a field goal or something like that, like they have been doing, then you and I will be good with that.
yeah, and and I said the silver lining is if we miss this one, at least that means we know it's not another nail biter where we have to kick a field goal at the end or drive
Yeah,
down to get a touchdown. So if we can win by more than 8, it means that it probably was not a nail biter and we can relax a little bit. I will gladly take a loss if my team, doesn't do what they did last week or the week before or the week
yeah,
before.
yeah. So, I mean, this does have the potential, the Broncos to win by 2 scores, but
Prove it.
they haven't
Prove it.
shown that. Oh, and I would love for them to put a complete game together, but
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so
They haven't proved it. So
Raiders just keep it close. Okay, so this one, 66% of the experts are on the Chicago Bears going into Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. Packers are favored by 6.5. It did dip below that key number of 7,
thankfully.
which was nice because now Green Bay can, win by 7 and we'll be good. Classic rivalry in the NFC North. It will probably be cold in Green Bay, most likely. Just one of those in a rivalry game. You know, we have seen Green Bay blow these guys out
Yeah.
before, but I
We've
don't know.
also seen Green Bay keep lesser teams close and
Yeah,
lose to lesser teams. But I don't know. Chicago is kind of riding high, but Green Bay at home, they are going to be pumped. I agree with someone who just wrote in.
it's our
Um,
friend. It's our
yeah,
friend from Nashville, Daniel. Hey,
you,
Daniel.
you love Green Bay in this spot. Thank
Nice.
you. That makes 3 of us. So let's hope Green Bay and I did put Jordan Love in my fantasy over Daniel Jones. So I'm like, I don't know why he was available, but he was. So I'm like, I think I'm going to play him at home against Chicago's pass defense. So
Well, yeah,
I have a
that
lot of reason. I have a lot of reason to root for the Packers this weekend.
I love that. And Green Bay, getting Christian Watson back
Yeah,
has really improved uh, their passing offense. So yeah, I mean, they could find some advantages against the Bears
Yep.
secondary. So
Yeah, I would agree.
let's go on that. Let's go on that.
Let's do it.
All right,
All
me or
right.
you?
Uh,
Me, you.
this
I
is
did
here.
Chicago.
Yep. So another 66% is on Texas Tech playing BYU. BYU's a 13-point underdog. Um, initially I'm like, oh, BYU for sure. And then I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, a couple weeks ago, Texas Tech just beat the crap out of them, like 29-7. But as you just said, it's tough to beat someone twice, and BYU is better than them only scoring 7 points. Like it's not like Texas Tech has Georgia's defense or Ohio State's defense. They're going to make adjustments. I believe on a neutral field they will score more than 7. I don't know if they can beat Texas Tech, but I think they can keep it within 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I've kind of paid a little bit more attention to BYU. Their quarterback, Bear Brockmeyer, has improved
Yeah,
greatly from the first game that they played with Texas Tech. Texas Tech's, yeah, I mean,
they're good.
they are rolling and they are good. I think they're a little underrated personally. I think they should be like the fourth ranked team in the country. Um, so that scares me a little bit. But again, this has turned into a little bit of a Big 12 rivalry right here. And BYU has the ability to keep it close, to
Yeah,
keep it within, 10. I think this line opened at 12 and a half. So we did get another at least half a point bump up. So 2 touchdowns. Yeah. In a championship game, I'll take BYU as an underdog with that.
yeah, yeah. I we agreed on that one 100%.
Yeah,
So
the Raiders and BYU, like, we kinda jumped on a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
At least we agreed right away. This one, I think we did agree. I mean,
we
and
did.
there's okay, let's talk this through kinda like how we did because there's some things that could possibly give us this lean, and this is 65% of the experts being on Ohio State at Indiana. The Hoosiers are a 4.5 point underdog, so they're getting 4.5 points. And so, kind of one of the things I said to you was Ohio State's going to be, they're in it no matter what. I don't know if Ryan Day necessarily cares as much about winning as he does is like preserving his best players. His wide receivers have been injured recently. They had just recently got both of them back for the game against Michigan. And so I think now that they beat Michigan, they want to take a deep breath and get prepared for the playoff run at another back-to-back national championship. So say they get up, right? I don't know if he plays all the wide receivers. I don't know if he plays Julian Sayin the whole game. And on the flip side, like we were talking about earlier, Signetti, red ass, is out to prove a point.
Yeah,
And it's a home game for them. And he just wants to prove that they're not little brother.
right.
They don't want to get smacked around. They have every interest in winning this game.
Well,
So that's my assessment.
I hope you're right. My other rationale was I just have liked similar to Vandy. I've liked watching Indiana the last couple of years. Teams that typically aren't great at this sport. So let's uh, let's root for the underdog a little bit, and it's kind of fun to watch these up and coming teams be playing well. So I just want to root for Indiana versus rooting for Ohio State. The
Yeah.
same teams that are up there all the time. Let's have some new blood coming up here, and yeah, fight your asses off there, Hoosiers, and let's see what you can do on the football field on Saturday. Just gonna be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. And we do have a family connection. I do. My wife's cousin, their daughter goes to Indiana and is a diver on the Hoosiers dive team. So
Well, there's a
good,
little fun fact that probably none of us are going to remember after you said it.
good job on her. So she'll be rooting for the Hoosiers as well. So
Awesome.
okay, me or you? You want
You
me to?
go for it.
Okay, see if I can do this fast. I know we're getting a little long on time here. So here is the recap of the Week 14 picks. 69% of the experts are on Western Michigan, the Broncos, against Miami, Ohio, the Redhawks. Miami's getting 2.5 in that championship game. So let's go Miami, Ohio. 68% of the experts are on the Cleveland Browns against the Tennessee Titans. Titans getting 4. So let's go Titans, win your second game. 67% of the experts are on Denver traveling to Las Vegas. The Raiders are getting 7.5. Just stay within that number, Raiders. You don't have to win. 65% of the experts are on Chicago at Green Bay. Packers are giving the Bears 6.5. Yeah. 66% of the experts are on Texas Tech versus BYU in the Big 12 championship game. BYU is getting 13, so stay within that number. And 65% of the experts are on the Ohio State Buckeyes at the Indiana Hoosiers for the Big 10 championship. And we are on the Hoosiers plus 4.5.
So we texted this basically at the same time. It was funny. I said looks like a 2-4 week. Right at the same time, you said looks like 3-3. So yeah, I mean, if we win 3, this is I don't know. Again, I felt like I was forced to make these picks. So for those of you who are just joining us, you're like, why in the hell would you be picking these? Well, because we have to, and we only had 15. But what I wanted to say is now the rest of the world can feel what we feel all season long with only having like 25 games to choose from. So as I'm making my personal picks, I'm like, there's only 25 games this week in the pool. And so now everyone else gets to feel like, oh, this is not easy. This is not fun to pick some of these games with some of these spreads. And like, you can even just throw out several of those right away. We're like, I'm not even touching it. So there's not, and I told you, in this pool, if no one wins, all of that money goes to next week. I said, I could see this being a week where no one wins.
That would be interesting. That would be amazing. Yeah. It's out there. It's possible because there's not a big.
I know we don't do bold predictions, but that's my bold prediction is
nice.
No one's going to be 6 for 6 this week.
Yeah. It's a short slate. So yeah, I'm with you on that. And just some of these lines, even in the NFL, are just so close. And I think the bookmakers are more in tune to the NFL lines than they are the college lines. So yeah, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you. The more we talk through some of these games, the more I like them. And I've said that before, and we've ended up like, 4-2, 3-3.
Right,
so
right.
If we can get the first 2 early Saturday morning, the 10 a.m. games, if we can get those 2, and then
sneak
maybe
another
that evening game, for some reason, it might be cold in Bloomington. So let's kind of hope for that. And so it'll be a little bit closer game.
Well,
so, all right.
It's going to be a fun weekend anyway, as it always is.
It's always fun. All these championships going on.
Yep.
It's great. It's a great watch. It just fuels the fire of the college football debate, which is awesome. Unless you get tired of it on social media, because I kind of got into it this week. We covered that, but sometimes you just get tired of it. Sometimes you're just done with it. And then you just kind of got to vent on, go on a little rant, and then feel better about it. I don't know if I told you this. I like to go into like, not necessarily the chats or anything like that, but I'm on Discord for one of the big podcast groups. And like, I'll just drop like a little verbal grenade in there and then just go away with like no follow up. It's just like a verbal grenade, and just watch the guys lose their mind. Like the trolls just go crazy, and it's so awesome. And I just laugh. Cause I know you said, well, I don't know how you do that without like hitting back at, getting back at them.
I would just be like, I have to say something. I have to defend myself. I have to like, it would drive me crazy. That's why I'm like, I'm staying away from that.
It's the best just to go away and just be like, boom. And then all of a sudden, just the shrapnel, like the guys, the fallout is just amazing. And it's so entertaining. So, anyway.
Good luck to us this weekend. Good luck to everyone else who.
Brad's got lots to do. So we're going to go quickly peace out. We've been here for 45 minutes. You guys have our picks for this week. So good luck on your own picks. Everybody that is in the same contest we're in, our friends and families, our super fans. I'm glad everybody is checking us out on YouTube. We're getting a few more subscribers. And if you go there, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and then share. Please share it with someone. If you're listening to us on Spotify, you can do the same thing. Follow, like, and share over there so that you can help us grow our podcast so we can keep doing
Absolutely.
this.
Yep, we
All
appreciate
right,
it.
Brad.
All
Have
right.
fun tonight. You have a busy
Thank you.
evening, so enjoy that.
Very
And
good.
we will be back next week for week 15.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thanks,
We'll see
Brad.
you. Bye.